Hello and welcome to Track Day Virtual. First off, which car should you choose? Well, that's going to have to be your choice. I will say that the Porsche has better acceleration and speed, where the Audi has better grip and brakes. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do is add all of my upgrades now. So I did a few experiments to figure out what I needed, and I'll show you that path in just a few seconds here. I'm just applying all of it, and there we go. Cost me just over $1 million R and 392 gold. Now we're going to be doing kind of a quicker tour through things. I don't want to go through every single race in detail. I've often done that in the past, but then it's a lot of work and a lot of people skip the middle days. They kind of watch the first day and a little bit of the last day. So here you see, you just got to tailgate this guy for a minute, the race will end. I'm starting to use driver view when I have to draft or tailgate. I just find it's a little more beneficial. This race was just a matter of get a lap done in the prescribed time, and boy, that was not difficult at all, especially when you already have the PR requirement for the last race. It's a really nice advantage. If there are any stages that are difficult, you probably won't find them difficult at all. Oops, kind of went off track there, didn't I? And you'll notice in the top left, I'll indicate which race it is. So here we are at race 1.3. And again, very easy race, average speed race. Goes on for a while. Kind of a fun race, Mount Panorama's fun. What you'll find with this car, with the Porsche at least, is man, you got to get on the brakes early. Even in the Audi, the brakes weren't great. It had better brakes, but oftentimes in these types of events, I go for the speed cars because their speed requirements. Okay, this is probably the most fun race in the entire event, at least for me. I love stuff like this, and you're going to see how much I love stuff like this. I take this dangerously close to a head-on collision. I used to do this for fun in my own time, so I love going fast. Here we are flying down Daytona Motor Speedway the wrong way, and watch really closely what happens here. I start weaving through traffic. Check this out. There you go. Sparks flying. We actually had contact, guys. So, hey, that's kind of crazy. I love doing stuff like that. Right around here, if you go super low, you're not going to have any contact at all. You got to be a little bit higher in the corner, but that was really close as well. So I like stuff like this. The basic premise of this event is that it's a video game. So we're kind of like virtually driving these cars. It's like they're almost like robots on a course. So here we are racing against Zoe. She's on the red car, and it looks like it didn't get going. So that kind of sets a theme for what stuff can go on here. Basically, everyone is controlling like radio control cars on a track. And here, this is why I don't do pilot view very often or driver view. Man, I just can't get a feel for the car this way. So yeah, I'm all over the track for a bit, but not a really difficult race. You just got to get up there and get your drafting in, and don't drive like a horrible person like I am. So I'm going to switch back to chase view for a while. This is a lot better for me when I'm trying to make my way through traffic. And then it's just a matter of getting up there. So the reason why I like using driver view when I'm hooked up for the draft is if you make a lot of contact with the car in front of you, he's going to try to get away from you, get out of your way and break the draft. So I switch views because I can just keep my eyes on things. Here, I just decided I'm frustrated, so I did the pit maneuver. Well, what do you do, hey? So I'm going to switch back to driver view here right away. And it just helps me to monitor my distance better. It also helps if you know the proper braking points. And I do know my braking points pretty good, so I know he's getting on the brakes right away, and I can monitor that. There we go. Oh, so I'm off track a little bit, but so is he, and I'll catch up. And I just got to be a little bit careful around there. And there, now I can monitor this distance without having a lot of contact. So you'll notice I'm going to be feathering the throttle there. Or maybe I should be calling it the power switch. And yeah, I mean, really not difficult here to get all your drafting in. You've heard me say it lots before. These aren't meters. These are Roman cubits, which is some sort of a funny coincidence of an error. Now, one thing about this event, do you remember at the beginning I said that it looked like Zoe didn't really get going? Well, here's the downside to driver view. Everything looks great. Everything... Whoa! Yeah, if I was in chase view, I'd have seen that coming. So, there you go. Now I gotta catch up and get some more drafting in. Kind of silly. I'm gonna not fall... Oh, that was fun. I got a nice hit. Anyways, the premise was Zoe disconnected. Now, this is Magnus, and you guys know, I don't like Magnus. First thing I do is I dump Magnus. Boom! And he comes back and hits me back. We've got a long-standing tradition, but we've kind of made amends through the years. This is a really easy stage. It's kind of long, 2 laps. I mean, that's not too long, but you can see it's easy. I already hit speed once. Gonna hit speed twice, and let's move on. Here we are at race 2.3, where you've got to lap the entire field. And into the second lap, they're all there at the beginning. Very easy stage, nothing to worry about. They're incredibly slow. Get on the brakes early here at Laguna Seca. If you don't get on the brakes early enough, you're going to be way off into the sand, which is why I used to hate this track, and a lot of people do. This is actually one of my favorite tracks now, because it has a really nice flow, and it has the corkscrew turn, which is my favorite place for catching air. And if you don't know... Oops! These guys are really slow. If you don't know what I mean, that's my favorite place to do jumps. I did that on purpose. Now, with a car like this, it's too slow to really do a jump, but you can still drive through the corkscrew if you want to. No, this isn't a smash everyone stage. This is ME7 smashing everyone because he wants to. 2.4, very easy race. You're supposed to beat Norm without contact. Well, that's not very... Well, without damaging your car. I go down a little bit just to make him slow down. It usually works. Get in his lane, and that's the end of it, guys. So let's just skip that one. So this is going to be the end of that particular race. So I didn't skip the whole race, but you can see getting a monstrous lead on Norm is not much of a problem. There we go. I've dominated Norm nicely. Now, squashing bugs at Red Bull Ring. Let's remember that. Red Bull Ring, bugs, squash them. Okay, well, this one's interesting. You got to get up there and draft Norm for 3,000 Roman cubits, and then drop back and draft Magnus. Roman cubits. I know you're probably thinking this sounds really stupid. Well, that's basically what the measurement is. For every meter you drive, you're getting credited 2.5 meters. And if you reverse engineer that math-wise, you get a Roman cubit. For every Roman cubit you travel, you get 1 meter. A Roman cubit is 17.48 inches or 44.444 centimeters. It's a total accident that that's what happened, but it can't ever be fixed. If they fix this, it'll wreck all of the archive events. So this is just the way it is. And kind of fitting that we're going with a video game theme that's glitching. So because the measurement's glitched, it's kind of funny. So again, driver view helps me to really monitor Norm and not get too close, because if I hit him a lot, that gaggle behind me is going to gain on me a lot. Now look at the gaggle. See how I really spaced them nicely right there. Oh, tapping Norm. He's going to get on the brakes heavy. The gaggle's going to close back up a bit. You can kind of see that in my rearview mirror. Now, I finished with Norm. Now I got to drop back and find Magnus. And this is odd. Like, where's Magnus? It's very odd that Magnus would be just dilly-daddling way back there. So I thought he had worked his way up through traffic more, but he did not. And finally, there's Magnus. I'm pulling over and he won't even pass me. Come on, man. Come on, Magnus. Good grief. What kind of Lion of Leipzig are you? All right. That's kind of where we... he's known as the Lion of Leipzig. So, which is also known as a Porsche test track. And there's an old event called the Lions of Leipzig. And so anyways, there we go. That's Magnus Rylander. So all my drafting is going to be in here pretty quick. And I'll see, I contacted him and then he gets out of the line. But you can see, you can tell these aren't meters, because holy smokes did they go by fast. I like it. It's hilarious. And then the race ends. So there you go. Now, race 3.2. I love it. Guess what we have to do? Smack people around. Now you got to hit them really hard. See that? That didn't count as damage. And I will try to hit this guy. No. Do the pit maneuver on this guy. No. You've got to really smack him. So we're gonna do some rock'em sock'em, smack 'em. There you go. There we go. That hit counted. Full speed again. 4 times regular speed. That hit counted. Let's get some more in here. 2 more hits to go, baby. And slow it down. That hit counted. Dump him off. 1 more to go. And the race ends. Broken glass. I love it. And the Porsche is magically better. Oh, everything's so nice. Race 3.3. This one is supposed to lap the entire field, which might scare you at first because they all look like they're the same car. And it looks like you're not that much faster. Now, I blow this corner a little bit, as you're going to see. Tiny scrape, but look at the first turbo fellow there. Look how much of a gain I have. And it just keeps growing. It's very easy to actually lap these guys if you know Melbourne very good at all. So here we are, beginning of lap 3, and there they are. And they're dreadfully slow. Just kind of weave your way in and out here. Not very difficult to weave your way through this traffic. Just like I was saying before, the brakes are your friends in these cars. Get on the brakes early, and you shouldn't have any trouble. 9th car already. There's the 10th. Oh boy, and you gotta watch. You catch up fast. There's the 10th, and then there's the 11th car. And this is funny. He kind of swings out to hit me. What a joke. Oh well. And yeah, just watch your lines at Melbourne. So I'm just letting you see a bit here. You gotta get on those brakes early. And then careful as you're getting back to the throttle. Make sure your car's pointed in the correct direction as you're getting back to the throttle, or you'll clip walls like I just did. And there you go. Very easy. Melbourne can be a lot of fun once you get kind of comfortable with those walls. Okay. Now, here we are, race 3.4. Interesting race. You have to overheat your engine. Now, I thought maybe I could just sit there doing donuts. This car doesn't want to do donuts. It just wants to straighten out again. And you can't go off track. So I decided I'm going to keep this nice and clean. And you just stay on the throttle a lot. But again, your brakes are your friend. Second sign, I'm getting on the brakes already. It's probably a bit early, but better that than flying off track. And then on your left-hand side, there'll be another set of signs. And again, I'm getting on the brakes right around the second sign. For this corner, you want to actually start your turn very early. A lot earlier than I think I should usually. See, I'm really early, and then I can get on the gas early. And nicely power through that. Oh, sorry, I can get on the power button. Gotta remember, it's not gas. There's no gas in this car at all. Oopsie. Okay, steps out a little bit. Like this car, boy, it does not have good grip. But when you get your trajectory right, it's fine. It took me a while to settle into this car because it just feels really sluggish. And I know it's not. It's actually pretty fast in a straight line, but when you're steering, when you're cornering, it feels kind of sluggish and heavy. And that probably makes sense for an electric car. Usually you're going to have a gargantuan battery, and they're just kind of going to have more of a sluggish feel to them, is what I find. At least this one does. But we'll see. Later on in this update, we get to drive the Volkswagen. Yes, guys, I've been listening to my German friends. I apologize. I was saying Volkswagen. North America, we always call it a Volkswagen. No one here will say Volkswagen. But I want to do honor and do my best for my German fans and my German friends. And so, guys, I hope that sounds good to you. I was corrected by a fellow that's helped me before that it's more like folks. And that makes sense, because I thought if the W becomes a V, why is the first V still a V? Well, it's because I wasn't listening very well. And neither are, well, most people in North America. But we're always told they're Volkswagens, guys. So anyways, okay, I'm almost overheated. And once you overheat, it takes forever to slow down. So, as soon as you get the sign popping up here, just throw it into a skid. And then the race ends immediately. Or you could slam on the brakes. Okay, race 4.1. This one's kind of fun. Big elimination race. So it started with like 43 seconds rather than the regular 20. Lots of drafting to get done. Again, switching to driver view so that I can stay hooked up in the draft here. I'm going to keep Magnus in my rear view, a troublemaker Magnus. So I don't want to bash Norm, because if I bash Norm a lot, then he's just going to slow down a lot, And drafting only kicks in at certain speeds. Ooh, Magnus is really on my bumper. Come on, Norm. Don't keep driving like grandpa there. No offense to the grandpas out there. Love my grandpas. But Norm is, he's a little older. But hey, there's some guys. I mean, I'll be a grandpa someday, and I hope I still drive a fast car. So just trying to stay hooked up without bashing Norm a lot. Sometimes I'm not expecting him to be so heavy on the brakes, but that's the way it is. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Oh no. Now is Magnus going to get past me? He might. Oh well, change of plans. Now I'm going to be drafting Magnus for a while, which isn't necessarily good for Magnus, because I'm not very nice to Magnus. He is rude, he is arrogant, and so I've done some really nasty things to Magnus through the years, including, yes guys, I'll mention it again, my famous video at a Circuit de Catalunya, where I shoved him into a wall and then he ended up getting stuck in a second wall, which is really quite funny. Now, we've done 2 videos together, Magnus and I. He comes to life in a couple of videos. He actually talks, and you can even see his mouth move. It's kind of strange, actually. Very bizarre facial expressions on Magnus. And we have a little bit of relational healing in that one, but still, well, he's got a lot of pride, and I can respect that. Okay, well, I've dumped Magnus off to the side, and that race just keeps going for a while. Now, this one is actually difficult. Race 4.2. This is an endurance race with heavily degrading tires, and I'm not doing bot slowing in an event like this. I've been driving as fast as I could. Well, the downside is I've got a big target, and look at this. I'm still sitting here in 4th place, and I don't have a lot of time left on my clock, so this actually is a challenging event if you've been pushing it. Now, thankfully, there's 3rd place. There's Norm, 9.8 kilometers. And, oh wait, I was in 5th place. Yeah, so I could finish without dumping this person, but goodbye. A little bit of a dump and pass or smash and pass. I like my smash and pass. And I'm going to drive her deep. Boom! Oh, a little bit stuck on the wall myself. I better watch what I talk about. Okay, there we go. I wanted the race to end. If you want an endurance race to end fast, throw it into a skid. Okay, flash forward a bit. Race 4.3. Now, we have got substantially boosted specs for this particular race. Now, you got to get on the gas you got to get on the brakes stupid early in this race, because we now can go over 400 kilometers an hour. Can you believe it? In an electric car? Yikes. But they also degraded our brakes. So we have increased speed and increased grip, decreased acceleration, and decreased brakes. That's a recipe for a disaster. So you got to get on those brakes a bit early. You can see here I'm giving Magnus a very hard time. But I'm going to dump him right here. Okay, remember what I said about the corkscrew? Remember how I said I like to jump at the corkscrew? Okay, with boosted speed and boosted grip, let's go for a jump. Boing, boing, woohoo! I love jumping there. Sometimes it goes horribly wrong, but I like jumping there. In fact, you can catch ridiculous air. I'll throw up a video link here. You'd be shocked how high you can jump there. I've done a lot of jumping there, including in the Valkyrie. It has a funny little bounce. But the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, oh boy, can that thing soar. So if you want to see some of that, check out that link. You can also check out those cards at the end. I felt like I was coming into that corner too hot, so I threw it sideways. So again, you got to get on the brakes a little bit early, but the grip will really carry you through. I forget, but I think we went from 1.16 to 1.76 for grip. 1.76 is lots. But the brakes are so bad and the speed is so high that you end up having to drive this car. You have to get on the brakes a little bit earlier, but then some corners like that one, you can take faster. Okay, let's go for a little bit of a bigger jump. And, uh-oh, this isn't going good. Uh-oh. Okay, quick little look, and then, oh, big slam, and he bounces. Oh, boy. I better hurry. Now, I've made a separate video for the next race. I'll fade out. I don't know what to tell you guys. So here, you just watch it till the very end. This is the absolute proof that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm keeping this super clean. I haven't even gotten close enough to Zoe to draft off her. At a certain point, the draft indicator was showing because I was close enough to norm. So here, gonna make sure I'm not drafting. I thought maybe you have to be close enough, and obvious failure. Okay, so that's a clip from my video that shows that's completely impossible. And they give you a free skip. Basically, they had to do a last-minute repair, and it glitched that race, made it impossible. So you have to take that skip. Don't even waste your time. It was a disaster for me. But anyways, we're moving on now. Okay, so this is full field race, and I'm kind of doing some bash and pass here because I was a little bit hot-headed with stage 4.4, and you can watch that full video if you want to. If you want to see what that looked like, I did make a full video. I wanted to get the word out as fast as possible to all you guys. Do not skip the event. Don't waste your time. What happened to me was I paid to skip the event, and then the fire monkeys were very nice to fix it as fast as possible, but I had already moved forward. And so I thought, well, I don't want to file a ticket and wait and argue with support because sometimes it doesn't go very well. However, for the most part, support has been very good to me through the years. Thanks, guys. So I did a restore to get my gold back, and when I did that, it reset all my OMP points. I went from 1100 to 100, and there was only 50 minutes left, and so I just had to say goodbye to that, and I had to do the whole event again. But you're getting to see it now. So there we go. In the end, it's okay. The basic rule is if you upgrade a car and then do a restore, you will most likely have your OMP points reset, and any time trials you set for that car will also be reset. And I shouldn't have been messing around so close to the end of an online multiplayer tournament concluding. So anyways, there we go. This race, obviously not very difficult. There's a whole nother lap to go. We will not watch it. Let's skip ahead. 5.2. Now, this is interesting. You got to be careful. There's all these dead cars on the track. And so it's kind of funny that this particular event is about glitches. Like, it's virtual. It's track day virtual, and we're in a video game, and there's all these glitches. People are getting disconnected, and I mean, it's funny that at Red Bull Ring that it said squashing bugs for 3.1, and then race 4.4, major unintended bug. So it's kind of ironic. Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Anyhow, still, some creative stages, some creative races. I mean, I loved going backwards at Daytona. This is interesting, having these dead cars. If you hit these cars, oh my goodness, you might as well be driving right into a wall. It's ridiculous. Like, it's kind of funny. So the basic premise is everybody disconnected. Like, things just short-circuited. Just like Zoe at the other race there where she was dead on the track. Well, that's because she lost connection. So very creative, kind of fun. And kind of works, you know, with the whole electronic theme that this is a video game that we're in. So I'm letting you see a whole lap just so you can kind of see where I'm getting on the brakes. Again, I'm getting on the brakes early in this car. I'm driving it as if almost like it's a Ferrari road car, where a lot of those, they've got amazing acceleration but horrible brakes and grip. That's kind of the way to look at these cars. Okay, race 5.3. We are supposed to just win. And I'm going to cheat. There's lots of cheating going on. Magnus is cheating right now. He's driving a BMW M5. He's cheating. He's supposed to be in an electric car. So it's hilarious. Basically, Magnus has hacked the game. I love it. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, because right now there's a lot of problems with hackers in this game that are kind of ruining the game, to be honest. That's why there haven't been team competitions for a while, and there's been some problems in online multiplayer, and they're working on it, and people are getting permanent bans, and that means you lose your garage and you lose everything you worked for. Whoa, look out! So please don't hack. It just wrecks it for everybody. It really makes me mad when some joker is stealing my points in online multiplayer. Beat me honestly and I will applaud you. So don't do it, please. Please, please, please. I think we all play this game because we enjoy it. So anyways, that's the end of that spiel. Now, despite my cheating, look how much Magnus has gained on me. Like, it's kind of scary. Scary. Pardon me. Yeah, Magnus is freakishly fast. Like, holy smokes. I honestly think that they boosted him, or he boosted himself. He's cheating. What a hacker. Oh! If you stay in line after the start-finish line, yeah, You have a wonderful crash. Now this one set the fastest lap. It's really not that difficult. We've got boosted specs here, okay? This car is severely boosted, so it's gonna throw off your driving for a bit. Eric is also boosted, but you can just cheat if you want to, drive off track, or don't. It's not that hard. We're gonna skip this one. To what I love. Look at the boosted specs. And the rules of this race are smash Eric, because we can't tolerate all this cheating going on. So we have to disable Eric's car, because Eric is piloting this car virtually and he's cheating. So here you go. Get a nice head of speed. You can end it right here. Boom! Oh, broken glass. And that's it. That's the last race. I love that finale. Okay, there's my total costs and my total earnings. If you like this video, guys, please like, please subscribe. Here's some other links for you. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget about that skip, and we'll see you later on.